Hey, welcome back to Tim Talks. Appreciate you guys being here today. We're going to talk about phone interviews today. Phone interviews are a vital part of the process of any job. But what is a phone interview and how does it work? What role does it play in the hiring process? Many companies use the phone call or the phone interview when somebody looks good on paper. In other words, the CV or the resume. And this phone interview will determine whether that particular candidate moves on to the next process, which is actually a live interview or an in-person interview. Sometimes they call this process the phone screen or the screening of a candidate over the phone, something like that. Now, this is a 5-part series, so we're going to go over this. So we're going to talk a lot about this and how it can help you. It's similar to the process of the interviews, but you might do some things a little different in the phone interview. So that's what we're going to talk about over the next 5 parts. Now, what do you expect with this phone interview? What are some things you should prepare yourself for? Well, that's what we're going to talk about and how you can benefit from this particular type of interview. Now, I always talk about this, and this is very important, especially if you know they're going to call you or you think they might call you, is your initial research phase. Find out what kind of company you're working for so that when they do call you, you can have good answers for them. You may even want to look up who the recruiter is and some background on that particular person. This helps you to make sure that you're well aligned or that you fit well in the company. And they're doing this too because they want to see if you are a good fit for their company culture. If all goes well, then great. You're going to proceed to the next in-person interview. Now, sometimes they do a second phone interview, so you have to be prepared for that as well. And I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you, or you can even ask, is there going to be a second interview on the phone? That way you can be ready for it. It may be from one of the other team members or even the actual hiring manager. So that's good to know because that way you can always be prepared. And so we're going to talk about some of those things that help you prepare. Now, most interviews, even over the phone, are going to be around 30 minutes. If it goes really well, maybe it will be a little longer than the 30 minutes. Now, this is a time that you really have to be prepared because you want to bring all your skill sets, tell them all about your skill sets and what you bring to the table and how you can benefit the company. Always talk about how you are a candidate that benefits the company and helping the company reach their goals. That's why that research phase is so important. So we're going to go over 25 tips that are going to help you. Today we're going to go over 5 that are going to be excellent to write down or watch this video when you're about to go on an interview or if you know you have a phone interview. So number 1, confirm the date and the time of the interview the day before. That way you can be prepared to pick up the phone when they call. Be sure to write it down, maybe even put it into your calendar so that you have exactly when that time is coming. And whatever you do, make sure you're available for that time period. Number 2 is very important. Reschedule if necessary. So let's say they call you and they say, okay, we're going to do an interview next week on Monday at 4, and you go, oh my goodness, I'm working at that time. Be sure to reschedule ahead of time. Try to find a time that's convenient for both them and for you so that it doesn't interfere with anything that's going on. Hopefully the sooner the better. Make sure you offer them a couple times or dates that you can do that, not just one. Now, if you're not ready for the interview and you want to reschedule, tell them that. Tell them you're not ready. That promotes honesty, and they know that you're going to be telling the truth as you move forward. So it's okay to do that. And it could be that you're not ready. So go ahead and let them know. Number 3, research the company. I cannot stress how important this part of the job interview is. I've talked about it several times. I think I have separate videos on that as well. But researching the company will make a difference, especially when they start to ask the questions about, do you know who we are? What do you know about the company? Have you ever heard of our company? You got to be able to tell them exactly what you know about the company. As I said in the past, this process lets them know that you're passionate about the company. And the more you know, the better it is, because then you're able to convey the fact that you're looking forward to working here. You're looking forward to being part of that team, which is what is awesome. Number 4, know who will be calling you. Now, in many cases, it's the direct hiring manager, it could be a supervisor, or one of the representatives in human resources that make that initial call. So just do an online search for that person and see what kind of a role he plays in the company itself. Now, if you're interviewing with the recruiter, you may get more general questions about your knowledge and your skill set for that particular job. And now what differs is if you're getting an interview with a supervisor that works for the company. Now that means you're going to get an in-depth interview and a lot of questions to see where you might be able to fit into the company. Number 5, look at the job description. Make sure you read what the job is and what that entails in that particular job you're looking at or you're going to be interviewed for. So when you understand what they're looking for, what that job is, you can tailor fit the answers to the questions they asked you to fit into that particular category. And that's easier to do when you know what the job description is, like we talked about before. So it's always good to do that. It's always good to make it fit so that you're an actual hand in glove type of thing. You fit like a glove for what they're looking for. And so that's one of those things. It takes time to make the answers that you're going to do. You may even want to write them down on possible questions they could be asking you. Make sure you know what your skill set is, your soft skills and your hard skills, ready to talk about them. If you have things you can share with them over the phone, it's great, because let them know that you're qualified by showing them graphs or anything like that you can maybe send them a link and they can look at it while they're talking to you. That's a real plus. That's going to help you. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate that very much. We look forward to part 2, and we will see you real soon. Ciao, ciao.